Imagine a scene of total destruction. The sky lit by flames, the suffocating heat that makes the air tremble, and a landscape that was once full of life, now reduced to ashes. Amid this devastation, something inexplicable catches the eye. A single object, untouched, preserved as if the fire had decided to spare it. A Bible, a crucifix, or a sacred image. These real moments challenge not only human logic, but also the forces of nature, evoking an essential question. Is there something more powerful that protects us even from the most destructive forces on Earth? These stories lead us to reflect on what we consider miracles. Fires are phenomena that consume everything, leaving little or no evidence of what existed before. However, on several documented occasions, religious objects emerged unscathed, preserving not only their physical integrity, but also bringing messages of faith and hope to those who witness these events. Today, you will discover real and moving accounts where the impossible became reality, showing that faith has a power that goes beyond what we can understand. In the first account, we return to the summer of 2024 in the small town of Miami Springs, Florida. A devastating fire completely consumed a house. The flames were so intense that in just a few minutes, everything the Gonzalez family owned was reduced to ashes. This family, known for its strong religious devotion, kept a small altar with sacred objects in a special corner of the house. Among them, an image of the Virgin of Guadalupe, painted on simple wood. When the fire was finally extinguished and the wreckage examined, firefighters discovered something that seemed impossible. The image was completely intact. The altar had been destroyed. The wooden structure of the house that should have fed the flames around the image was no longer there, but the painting seemed to have been miraculously spared. Even without protection, the colors remained vibrant and bright, as if they had been painted that very day. Not a speck of soot had touched the image. For the Gonzalez family, this was a clear sign of divine presence. They believed that through that painting, God was reaffirming his protection, even in times of tragedy. The discovery gained attention on social media, where thousands of people shared images and stories related to the event. The local community interpreted the occurrence as a miracle, and the image of the Virgin of Guadalupe now occupies a place of honor in their local church, serving as a constant reminder of faith and resilience. But stories like this do not happen only in recent times. In a historical account from 1730, in the Italian city of Siena, something similar occurred. During that period, thieves invaded the Basilica of San Clemente and stole consecrated hosts, an act considered deeply sacrilegious by the local community. Days later, the stolen items were mysteriously returned, but what surprised everyone was the state of the hosts. Despite having been exposed to external conditions that should have deteriorated them, they were completely fresh, as if they had never been removed from the altar. This event was considered a miracle by many and brought renewed faith to the city of Siena. The hosts were examined by members of the clergy and confirmed to be intact. To this day, they remain preserved as sacred relics, a testament to the enduring power of faith and divine protection. Another impressive case occurred in Virginia, United States, in May 2022. A highway became the scene of a serious accident in which a high-speed vehicle collided with a concrete barrier and caught fire. The car was consumed by flames, leaving only the distorted metal frame from the extreme heat. However, when firefighters inspected the wreckage, they found something surprising in the driver's seat: a Bible. Although the cover was charred, the inner pages remained untouched, as if they were protected by an invisible force. The owner of the car, James Carter, who miraculously survived the accident with only minor injuries, reported that the Bible had been a gift from his grandmother, who always encouraged him to read it in difficult times. For him, The Bible's survival was a clear sign that God was giving him a second chance and reaffirming his presence in his life. These accounts are not merely stories of preserved objects, but true symbols of hope and renewal. Each of them leads us to reflect on what it means to believe in something greater, especially in moments of adversity. Whether consecrated hosts, sacred images, or Bibles, these items become tangible reminders that faith can withstand even the greatest trials. Now that we have seen impactful examples of miracles related to fire, let's explore other stories that defy logic and reinforce the power of the sacred. Before that, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Here, you will find moving and inspiring accounts like these that will help strengthen your faith and allow you to see the world differently. Click the subscribe button now and activate the notifications so you don't miss any content like this. Continuing our journey through incredible stories, let's now explore more events that defied the laws of nature and deeply touched the hearts of people around the world. These accounts are not just about objects that survived the fire, but about the connection between the sacred and spiritual resilience in times of adversity. In 2019, a devastating fire struck the Freedom Ministries Church in West Virginia. The small church was a haven of spiritual refuge for a close-knit community. That night, the flames quickly consumed everything. The wooden walls did not resist, the roof collapsed, and almost nothing remained of the building. However, when firefighters returned the next morning to inspect the damage, something extraordinary awaited them. Several Bibles and crosses were stacked on a charred table, completely untouched. The scene was hard to believe. While the table itself was burned and everything around it had been reduced to ashes, the Bibles were in perfect condition. Not a single page was burned, not even the covers. For the church members, this was more than a sign. It was a living testimony of divine protection. The church's pastor described the discovery as a clear message that God was with them, even amid the destruction. He said to the congregation in an emotional sermon, "The flames destroyed the building, but they could not touch the word of God." This event quickly gained national attention, and images of the untouched Bibles were shared on social media. The church was rebuilt with the support of the community, and the Bibles are now displayed in a prominent place, serving as a constant reminder of the miracle that occurred that night. Another remarkable account took place in 2019, when the world watched in horror as the fire destroyed parts of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The fire started during a restoration, and it quickly consumed the historic roof known as the Forest, built with centuries-old oak wood. Despite the heroic efforts of the firefighters, the flames destroyed a large part of the cathedral's structure. However, when the fire was finally extinguished, images of the interior revealed something impressive. The main altar, adorned with a golden cross, remained intact. The cross shone brilliantly amid the ashes and rubble as a symbol of resilience and hope. In addition, the consecrated hosts and the famous crown of thorns, which many believe was used by Jesus Christ, were also rescued. For many, this was not just a stroke of luck, but a divine message that faith survives even the most terrible trials. Today, Notre Dame Cathedral is being carefully restored, and these sacred relics continue to inspire millions of visitors every year. Back in the United States in 2016, a massive forest fire devastated Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The fire destroyed entire neighborhoods and reduced hundreds of homes to rubble. Among the affected buildings was the Episcopal Church of Santa Maria, a historical landmark of the region. The structure was completely consumed by flames, leaving only charred remains. But amid the wreckage, locals found something that seemed impossible. The church bell, made of bronze, was intact. Even though the intense heat had melted metals around it, the bell remained in perfect condition, as if protected by an invisible force. For the local community, this was a powerful symbol of hope and faith. The bell, which for decades had called the faithful to prayer, now represented the resilience of their faith in the face of adversity. It was placed in a special memorial near the new church, serving as a reminder that even in the worst storms, there is something that never breaks: faith. And what about the sacred statues that defy the flames? In 2025, a devastating forest fire swept through the Altadena region in California, destroying thousands of homes and properties. Among the affected locations was the residence of Peter and Jackie Halpin, a Catholic couple who lost everything in the fire. However, when they returned to the site to inspect the damages, they found something that left them speechless. A statue of the Virgin Mary and another of Saint Joseph, which had stood in the house's garden, were intact. Even though they were surrounded by rubble and soot, the statues seemed to have escaped the disaster unscathed. This discovery was a moment of great emotion for the family, who saw in the statues a clear sign that their faith would remain intact even in the face of tragedy. Peter and Jackie decided to rebuild their home in the same location, with the statues now occupying a place of honor as constant reminders of divine protection in their lives. These events are more than coincidences or curiosities. They are signs that remind us there is something greater, something that protects us and gives us strength even in the darkest moments. They invite us to reflect on the resilience of faith and on the power of divine messages that appear in unexpected ways. So if these stories are touching your heart and you believe that faith can transform lives, take this moment to subscribe to our channel. Here, we bring inspiring accounts that reinforce the presence of God in our everyday lives. Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive notifications. As we approach the end of this journey through miracles, there is something clear in each of these stories. They are not just accounts of objects untouched by fires, but true testimonies of the power of faith and divine presence in times of adversity. In the spring of 2024, in a peaceful monastery in Northern California, an unexpected tragedy also brought forth a symbol of hope. The monastery, a place known for its peace and spirituality, was consumed by a devastating fire that started in the kitchen. The flames spread quickly, engulfing the historic structure and destroying almost everything inside. When the monks returned to assess the damage, they found something extraordinary amid the ruins, an icon of Jesus Christ completely preserved. This icon, painted with delicate details on wood and decorated with gold leaf, had been one of the monastery's greatest spiritual treasures. Although the protective glass frame had melted, the painting remained untouched, without a single mark of soot or burn. For the monks, this was more than a miracle. It was a message from God, reaffirming that even amid destruction, His light never goes out. The icon now occupies a central place in the monastery's rebuilt chapel, reminding everyone that faith can withstand any adversity. Another striking account occurred in Breezy Point, New York, during Hurricane Sandy in 2012. While the storm devastated the east coast of the United States, a fire broke out amid the chaos, destroying over 100 houses in an entire neighborhood. Among the buildings consumed was St. Thomas More Church. The next day, when residents returned to the site, everything had been reduced to ashes except for a wooden cross that remained standing in the center of what was once the church. The sight of the untouched cross was a moment of hope for the devastated community. It was as if God was reminding everyone that even in the worst storms, His presence remained steadfast. This cross became the symbol of the neighborhood and church's reconstruction, inspiring the community to come together and overcome the tragedy. Stories like these show us that, amidst the greatest adversities, faith is capable of bringing comfort, hope, and a new beginning. No matter the extent of the destruction or the intensity of the flames, these events are a powerful reminder that some things are too sacred to be destroyed. And now, I invite you to reflect. Which of these stories touched you the most? Which one made you believe that even in the hardest moments, there is something greater looking after us? Feel free to leave a comment and share your impressions. Before concluding, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to receive notifications. Here, we will continue to bring stories that strengthen faith and inspire hearts around the world. Let's explore together the connection between the divine and our everyday lives.